Well, the schedule tells it all. We've either been good or bad, and then against Burnley, we absolutely choked at the end. It was horrible. It was Dr. Benji epic. Just one of those things, the game got done, and I literally sat there and was like, oh my God, what just happened? Well, what happened is after Middlesbrough, we went to Wolves and got absolutely thumped 3-1. I had to start Benteke because I had enough guys that were injured and or below full health, and he scored the only goal. It doesn't really redeem him in my eyes. He's doing this thing now. I forgot to mention a couple episodes ago, he's considering his options because his contract is coming up. And it's like, I'm going to take that choice away from you. You're not coming back. So against Everton, who are literally bottom of the table Everton, we got a brace of goals from Jordan Ayew. The last one in the 91st minute, we completely FM'd them. We got a little bit of luck there. I'll be the first to admit it. We turned around and lost to Arsenal 2-0. This wasn't actually a pretty good game. It took a Martin Odegaard goal in the 91st minute for them to pull ahead. They had 12 shots, 4 on target. We had 6 and 1. They had 4 block shots, 1 woodwork hit. We actually had 2 woodwork hits. I don't know why they didn't count the second one. They had more half chances. We're dominating possession in a lot of our games. We're just, dominating by kicking it back and forth between this midline and this back line, and we're not really driving forward. So, Mateta was on a 6'5", Ayew was 6'2", Zaha 6'4". I think I've got this version of Zaha is the one who's give a damn done broke. And because I sold Koyati, he is definitely not interested in doing his best, as evidenced by the fact we're 9 games in, he has 1 goal and 2 assists. And then against Burnley, I really thought we had this. Mateta scored in the 2nd minute, Ayew scored in the 19th minute, Zaha scored in the 32nd minute, Milivojevic scored in the penalty 60th minute, and then Matej Vidra got 2 goals, 3 minutes. And I clicked on Chris Wood. I don't want to click on Chris Wood. I want to click on Matej Vidra. Got 2 goals within 3 minutes, one of which was in extra time to put them ahead. And of course, they are his only 2 goals of the season. Why else would it be different? So that said, we're playing Luton today in the Carabao Cup 4th round. Then we're going to play Villa. Luton is Sky Bet Championship. They've, I'm not trying to not take them seriously, but at the same time, we're playing this game 3 days after the Burnley match. A lot of my guys just are not completely match fit. And who's Zaha wanted by? Newcastle. That's right. No, I'm not sending him within the division. And as a result, we've got kind of a patchwork squad going on. They're mostly healthy, with the exception of Mateta, who's a bit on the low side, but he should have enough to see through the game. So we got Guiado in goal, Mitchell, Guehi, Mengi, and Klein as the defensive back 4. Got Riedewald and Gallagher in the midfield, Olise and Hughes as the tag midfielders, Mateta and Edward up top as the strikers. Corner kick, Olise sends it in, Thorpe knocks it away. Klein has it down to Riedewald. Riedewald feeds Mateta, who puts it past the keeper in for the goal, his 10th of the season. He's having a really good season. The fact I've played him every game means in 2 more games we're going to be obligated to pay Mainz 13 point something million pounds to make his stay permanent. That's one of the things that actually kind of turned me off to some of the loan players I tried bringing in. They were quality loan players. They were younger players who had a ton of potential to turn into something. And everybody wanted a future transfer fee. And some of them wanted it locked in. It was like, look, you're telling me he's valued at $6 million. It says right there on his screen, he's valued at $6 million. Why are you trying to get me to agree to pay him 13.5? Klein. We're moving the ball around really well. Klein, baseline, sends it in. Bushi knocks away to Bell. Bell bombs it forward. It's knocked ahead. Mitchell's going to run it down. Mitchell driving forward, dinks it. Mateta, Edouard, and he puts it past the keeper for his 5th goal of the season. That was really nice. And a fine celebration by Edouard. Mitchell drives forward. Moonshots ball. Mateta heads it down for Edouard. Very nice shot. I thought the keeper got a hand on it. It was just the angle we were looking at. And we are up 2-0, 20 minutes in. Another corner kick. Olise. In swinger, Edouard's there, and he puts it away for his 2nd goal in just as many minutes. That was really well done. We're doing fairly well with the set pieces. They're playing this 4-3-1-2, and it's leaving them really bunched. So it's leaving us open on the wing. It's giving us space on the wings. Hughes takes a shot and Sluga blocks it. Corner kick. Elise picked up an injury. Knocked away. Bell's going to run it down. Drives forward. And Edouard slide tackles the ball out of the way. Bell on the throw-in. Back to Hilton. To Bell. Bell, long pass across the field to Bree. Campbell. Oh, Giada, very nice stop. It hits the equipment and finally goes out of bounds after Klein knocks it away. 16 shots, 12 on target for us. Holy cow. Elise picked up an injury. What did he do? And that is halftime with a 3-0 lead on 18 shots, 13 on target. We are absolutely dominating Luton. Now let's take a look. Hit the wrong thing. Let's take a look. I don't want to sign into Cortana. Potential knee injury. Okay, well, we're going to have to take him off, and we'll bring on Zaha. Klein on the throw-in. Gallagher. Back to Klein. Hughes. Lofts it in. Matetta's there, but he heads it over the crossbar. 60 minutes in, we got a highlight going. Bell kicks the ball to Rea. To Thorpe. Tries feeding it through the crowd. Hilton ends up with it. Guiada, very nice stop. It was easy, but it was nice. What's he doing? Killing time, apparently. Guiada lost it forward. Mateta heads it down. Goes right to Bell. Bell sends it back to Sluga, who bombs it forward himself. In the crowd, Hilton heads it forward. Mendes Gomez is there. And they get one back. Shades of Route 1. It's a nice long ball by Slugga. Hilton did really good to get his head on the ball and knock it down for Gomes. Is it Gomes or Gomez? I'm assuming it's Gomes. Okay, we are going to make a couple of changes here. We're 70 minutes in. We're going to get Klein off and bring on Sessegnon. We're going to get Mitchell off and bring on Schlupp. And then one of the things I want to do here is have him stay a little bit wider. Schlupp to Zaha. Back to Schlupp. A nifty little move there. Guehi to Mengi. Mengi out to Sessegnon. Sessegnon to Hughes. Hughes back to Sessegnon to Gallagher. Gallagher centers it to Riedewald. Riedewald over to Zaha. Zaha's got Schlupp all alone on the left. Schlupp drives in, holds it up, crosses it, and is that Edouard? That is Edouard. It was an interesting angle there. It looked like the Luton player got a foot on it. Lockyer stuck his foot out, and I thought maybe he directed it in, but no, it's Matetta's goal. Okay. Al-Mohammadi to Neufville. Thorpe. Back to Al-Mohammadi. To Thorpe again. Back to Al-Mohammadi. Gets it back to Thorpe. Thorpe, turn around. Neufville tries sending it in. It's blocked. Hilton gets the carom, and he sends it wide right. It was a solid effort. Coming up on the end of the game. And with two very convincing performances by Mateta and Edouard, we absolutely dominate Luton 4-1. 27 shots, 16 on target. Only one clear-cut chance, 10 half chances, though, a 61% possession rate. That was a really good performance. Nice work, everybody. That was well done. Now, they're calling it a fluke goal. I kind of agree. Lockyer stuck his foot out. It looked like it went off Lockyer. Matetta's loan is made permanent. That was the game. So, and then we're going to pay them 13.3 million euros. I'm not going to say it's coming out of next year's transfer budget. My understanding is that money's already allocated, and so it's not going to come out of this year's budget either. At least that's what happened when I play tested this in the beta. Who's Elise through injury? Guehi reached the yellow cards limit. Pulled knee ligaments. There we go. 3 or 4 weeks. Well, Eze is coming back. Anderson's out with a pulled pec muscle. That's for another week. Ferguson's out for another 2 months. Eze's out for another 3 to 5 weeks. Olise is out 2 to 4 weeks. Adam Roll is out 5 to 10 days. Wow. Okay. Good grief, I let George out an hour ago. Let me grab him real quick. He accepts is fine. I'm happy with the outcome. And we have Aston Villa in 4 days. Villa is currently 8th in the Prem. They're fairly similar to us. If I go back here, we are currently in 11th, but Villa is, well, they're 4 points ahead. So, they've got some players. Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins. Marvelous. Okay, that's a fabulous name. Marvelous is a great name. Tyrone Mings, Ashley Young, I recognize. Dennis Zakaria, that name sounds familiar. Martinez. Yeah, they've Axel Twanzebe. Okay, they've got some quality. We've got our work cut out for us. I'm going to let George in. We're going to come back and get to this Villa game here in just a bit. Before we get into the game with Villa, I wanted to bring up the player that we scouted last episode, Doro Dabo. He's a D. The scout spent 2 weeks scouting him and came back with this. The areas he's good in, he's actually really good in. He's just bad everywhere else. I mean, a 2 crossing, 5 long shots, 1 to 2 marking, 1 to 3 tackling, which for a striker, he's a striker. You would expect that. But, the 2 to 5 positioning, 1 vision, 1 concentration, 3 to 6 bravery, that's just totally not wanted, not capable. Let's see, Varzim and Academica. Varzim, I know that name. Probably because of the Eastern European Journeyman I did last year. They're Portuguese Second League. And Academica. There's a lot of Academicas out there. Also in the Portuguese Second League. So, he's barely a League 2 player for us. So, I mean, there's no way we're going after him. I mean, even if some of these were a little bit higher, the concentration and the vision and the teamwork alone kill it for me. But I wanted to show what the possibilities. I totally skipped over the lineup. We'll go over that here real quick. Do this. We got Guiado in goal. Mitchell, Guehi, Tompkins, and Mengi as the defensive back 4. Gallagher and Milivojevic as the midfielders. Zaha and Hughes as the attack midfielders. Mateta and Edward up top as the strikers. Despite the fact we played 4 days ago, I did just a lot of team training or team, the match preview, the teamwork, things like that. The stuff that wasn't too strenuous but keeps the guys match fit. Mengi on the throw-in. Milivojevic to Edward. Back to Mengi. Centers it to Edward. Edward cuts inside, then outside. Rounds the defender. Centers it. Hughes is right there for the goal. His 3rd of the season. Some really nice... Oh, geez, excuse me. Ooh. Some really nice movement by Edward there. Gets the ball from Mengi. Goes inside, then outside. Rounds the defender. Hughes is right there. He's brought onside by the defender following Edward. The keeper had no chance to stop that. Well, let me rephrase that. He had a small chance to stop it. It was unlikely. Stranger things have happened in FM. Oh, look, a penalty kick from just outside the box. Bailey sends it in. Guiada, very nice stop. And he kicks it long. And it's knocked down by Mings. To Sanson. To Zachariah. Out to Cash. Cash to Bailey. Bailey to Watkins. Broke behind the defender. And Guiada, no chance to stop that. Holy cow, did my defense drop the ball there. What happened? Come on, fellas. That was just... Cash to Bailey. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it on the big screen here. Bailey crosses it in. Watkins. Mengi stood there like his feet were made of stone. Milivojevic sends it in. It's knocked away. Zachariah ends up with the ball, driving forward. Cuts through his own players before continuing left. Passes it up to Watkins. Watkins, target to Ings. Ings back out. Watkins ends up with the ball again. Left side of the box. Turns around. Ings is there. It's knocked away. Sanson heads it down to Zachariah to Cash. Cash breaks right. Turns around. Gets it to Bailey. Back to Cash. Crossed in. Watkins. That was a tight angle. How on earth did that go in? That's how it went in. Jiminy. Milivojevic sends it in the crowd. Matetta's there and we equalize. Matetta's 11th goal of the season? Or are they going to call this offsides? No way was he offsides. He's well behind the line. Hughes sends it in. Tompkins is there. Martinez gets a hand on it. Oh, excuse me, but the ball still rolls in. That was a bit lucky. I'll take it, but it was a bit lucky. Martinez got a hand on him, but it wasn't enough to stop it. And it wasn't a particularly strong header either. But with that, we take a 3-2 lead into the half. 9 shots, 5 on target. Decent possession advantage to their 7 and 5 shots. What do we see here? No clear-cut chances, 2 half chances. Bailey. Zaha intercepts the ball. Mitchell back and forth with Zaha to Guehi. Guehi holds it up. Brings it forward. Gallagher back to Guehi. To Gallagher. Over to Milivojevic. Edward. Edward gives the ball away. Watkins stepped in front of the pass. Louise back to Mings. Mings out to Sanson. Sanson to Ings. Ings long pass. Mitchell just heads it down to Guiada. Back to Guehi. Over to Tompkins. Tompkins to Milivojevic. Over to Hughes. Hughes. Long pass. Mateta. Dinks the keeper and goes in for the goal. Oh, he was on sides. Is it me or was FM21 like 99% of the VAR reviews ended up being the call you didn't want? The Mateta was well up there. You couldn't see it. It's the problem with playing on director, reviewing on director. But I like reviewing on director. Can't play on director. I found that out the hard way. A little past 60 minutes in the game, we're going to make a couple of changes here. Edward picked up an injury. When did that happen? That must have just happened. Okay, we'll bring Edward off and bring on IU. We're going to get Mengi off and bring on Sessegnon. We're going to get Zaha off and bring on Schlipp. Zaha is just not doing it this game. He's on a 6-4. He's got a yellow card. And it's a triple substitution at 60-something minutes into the game. What could possibly go wrong? Penalty kick from outside the box. Milivojevic sends it in. Martinez, a nice block. Ayew can't control it. Was he offsides? That's probably why he couldn't control it. He knew he was offsides and stopped. Sessegnon. Milivojevic on the throw-in. Dispossessed. Bailey ends up getting the ball to Young somehow. Young just bombs it up the field. Tompkins is going to run that down. Gets it to Sessegnon. Sessegnon, Milivojevic. Out to Hughes. Back to Milivojevic. Up to Ayew. Ayew out to Sessegnon on the right. He's running. Baseline. Sends it in. Mateta's there. And Ayew goes to Ayew's foot. And he scores. That was some really nice ball movement by us. Ayew to Sessegnon. Sessegnon drives forward. Mateta. It may have been a bad header. I don't know that Mateta intended to do that, but it went right to Ayew, who volleyed it in. If Mateta did intend to do that, that's a high IQ play. Young sends it in. House is there, but he knocks it over the crossbar. Guiada to Guehi. Over to Tompkins. He bombs it forward. Mateta heads it down. Goes right to Zachariah. To Sanson. To Ings. In the crowd. Guiada bombs it forward after it looked like the defenders were going to lose it. And that is the game. We win 5-2 on 15 shots. 9 on target. 2 clear-cut chances. 2 half chances. A decent possession advantage. All right, you look at some of these statistics. You'd think they wouldn't be good. We're only winning 68% of our headers, only 80% of our tackles. Completing 89% of our passes, though. That's good. Nice work, everybody. That was good. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, seems to be feast or famine. Not a lot in between. Although that does move us up to 11th place on 14 points. And after that, yeah, this is good. 11th place is solid. Save the game here real quick. Edward. Oh, 1 to 2 days, bruised ankle. He's close to triggering a clause. We're going to come back for probably Chelsea and Leicester. We got Man City in the Carabao Cup quarterfinal. And then we'll come back for our FA Cup third round match. Do I want to go all the way to Liverpool, Man City? I may end up just doing that. Liverpool is currently top of the league. They have yet to lose a game. They've drawn one. United's 3 points behind them. Chelsea's at 4th. Man City's at 5th. Yeah, let's test our mettle, see how well we do against Liverpool and Man City. Actually, the more I think about it, Tottenham is not doing well. They are currently in 15th place. So we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come back for Tottenham and Liverpool. And then that gives us a decent break until the FA Cup third round game, and probably the FA Cup third round game. We'll go over a bit of the transfers in that. That'll probably be a short episode. But yeah, that's definitely what we're going to do. We're going to come back for Tottenham, Liverpool. Now, the more I think about it, we may actually do a triple live comm next episode. What we'll probably do is Tottenham, Liverpool, and then Man City in the Carabao. And then, those games are really close to each other. Yeah, what we're going to do is come back for Liverpool and Man City. Liverpool's top of the league. They're currently in first place. They're 3 points ahead of United. Yeah, United. And it'll be a good test for us. Then we're playing Man City, who are also a quality team in the Carabao Cup. I would expect our run to end here because we're playing them 3 days after we play Liverpool. I would be happy with just putting up a brave fight against both of those squads, to be honest with you. And then we'll come back. We'll do our FA Cup third round game. That'll probably be a short episode. And then we'll talk about the transfer window and scouting and some of the reports I've been getting and things like that. See if we can't find a few diamonds in the rough, try and get them on board. And then it is off into the second half of the season. So the goal at the beginning of this season was mid-table. We are currently mid-table. I'm perfectly fine with that. Mateta leads us with 13 goals, a 7.87 rating, 6 assists. Anderson has a 98% pass completion rating, but of course, probably 90% of his 98% go back to Guiada. Mateta also has 5 players of the match, Milivojevic 5 yellow cards. It seems like Mateta is dominating a lot of the statistics, and to an extent, he is. However, Edward has 6 goals and 3 assists. Ayew has 4 goals. Hughes is pretty well on at 3 goals, 4 assists. If something happens to Mateta, I'm not worried. I've got other players who can step up. The one thing I found is that, if you have one guy in your squad who has 30 goals and 15 assists, and there's no one else in double digits or anything like that, that's usually when the player goes down injured. And we're not going to have that here. Edward and Mateta are a very good 1-2 punch. Milivojevic and Gallagher are doing really well in the midfield. Gallagher has 4 assists. Milivojevic has been quiet this season. 2 goals, 1 assist, but he's a very commanding presence in the midfield. I'm hoping he stays healthy for another year or two. It's going to be a little bit before I can get someone in to replace him. I've got my eye out on a couple people. If I can get them for the right money, we'll bring them in and start rotating these older players out and letting them go in the next couple of seasons. Replace them with younger players who are going to be just as capable, if not better, than they are. So, the other thing I wanted to look at real quick is, for the moment, everybody from Tompkins. You know what? I got to take my 23s and 18s off. Well, you can forget Mateta. He's got the transfer arranged already. So that's who we're losing in the offseason if we don't move them at the break. That's also a decent chunk of payroll coming off as well. I mean, that's 100, 230, 300. That's £300,000 a week coming off. So, and then some of these other players, Remy Matthews, and older players who just aren't going to be able to cut it are going to be coming off as well. And then, we'll rotate out a lot of these under 23s as well. So, Yeah, they're only 150 pounds a week, but at the same time, if they're not going to contribute to the team in the future, there's no reason to keep them here unless we can develop them and move them on for money. Ollie Weber's a good candidate for that. Let me rephrase that. Ollie Weber would be a good candidate for that if he was 3 years younger. David Omalabu fits that mold. Jake O'Brien to an extent. Reese Hannum to an extent. We might be able to move him on for money. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that said, it was a really good episode. We dominated Luton 4-1. We dominated Villa 5-2. There's not a lot of middle ground in between. We've only drawn 2 games, which speaks to the, I don't want to say quality of the squad, but kind of the luck we've been having. And even then, one of those draws, this Burnley one, should have been a victory for us. So we're winning the games we should be winning most of the time. I think we should have won at Newcastle. I think we definitely should have won at Burnley. And the other thing is that all of our losses, none of them have been particularly close. I mean, we lost to Norwich by 2, we lost to Man United by 6, we lost to Wolves by 2, we lost to Arsenal by 2. It's not that with the exception of United, it's not like we're getting blown out. God came down that day and blessed Mason Greenwood's right foot, and he scored 5. So, FM happens. But at the same time, we need to tighten up our defense a little bit. So we're going to work on that. That said, if you did like what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticism, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM22. I thank you for watching.